What do big tech companies look for in a candidate to hire them? Experience, credentials, etc. What big tech companies look for in candidates is what every company looks for in candidates. They're looking for relevant experience. They're looking for brand name recognition. What these companies look for generally first are the logos, the brands that you've worked for before. So if you have good companies, great. If not, you can get around that through networking, but you will have more advantage if you've worked at General Electric before, or you worked at Pfizer before, big name companies, or companies that are tech startups, that are respected tech startups. That works well too. Secondly, what people look for on candidates is progression. So are you getting promoted within those companies or within roles? Third, they're looking for quantifiable impact. So say in your resume that you led large team meetings, or did you say that I led a global cross-functional project that yielded 40% increase in sales in 20% less time? So they like to see that quantifiable impact. Fifth, and this one probably moves up on the chart, is relevant experience and relevant titles for the role. So if you're hiring a program manager, you're not going to hire someone who is an AE, an account executive. So you're going to look for those titles. And sixth is schools. Schools are, if you have a good school, that helps you. If you don't have a good school on your resume, it doesn't help you, but it won't necessarily hurt you, especially if you build the network out and get referrals. Do I need to invest in an MBA or CS degree if I don't have one and only a non-marketable degree, employer degree, role experience, and not technical? So a little bit of a run on there. You do not need an MBA. You do not need a CS, computer science degree. If you want to be a product manager at Google, you very likely will need a CS degree or an electrical engineering degree or some sort of very hard science type degree. But you can become a product manager at Salesforce without having those degrees, but you do need to have some technical aptitude as well. You do not need to have an MBA. I've had plenty of people that I've hired on my team that are not MBAs. I've had people on my team that went to community college. I've had people on my team that didn't even finish college. I don't know if she attended, but she definitely did not finish college. So you do not, and she was awesome. So was a woman who went to community college. So were the people I managed without MBAs. You do not need those degrees. If you have them, you definitely leverage them, but do not think about getting those degrees just because you think that is going to automatically get you into these companies. You're better off spending 2 years of time, which is what an MBA program takes, and $100,000 to $300,000 or $400,000 now of spending it in investing time in building network, starting to get your hands dirty with the work. And the MBA is not the most efficient means. I have hired people on my team that went to community college, that did not even go to college, that had MBAs, that did not have MBAs. Doesn't matter. My boss at Salesforce did not have an MBA. Her boss did. His boss did not. So you do not need an MBA. Let's see. Thoughts about investing in learning niche areas like cloud computing, cybersecurity, data science, and top tech versus non-technical ones like program manager. Yeah, you can learn all you want, but you got to take action. You got to meet people. You got to talk to the companies. You got to focus on the companies. So you can learn all you want. If you're interested in that, go learn it. But what you should really do is look at what you're strong at now, leverage that strength to get into the companies, and then let those companies pay you to learn that stuff. When I was at Google, they would pay for tuition for whatever you wanted to learn. I reimbursed a woman on my team for taking cosmetic classes. She was doing makeup work and she was getting a $1,200 reimbursement from Google. Another woman was taking banjo lessons. But other people were taking more legitimate classes and they got a higher degree of reimbursement, whether it's CS. I took a CS certification while I was at Google. I don't remember any of it, but they paid for me to do that. Game plan for non-technical person who wants to get into big tech. How to know what role to pursue. Invest time in certification, credentials, degree, etc. Do not invest time in certifications, credentials, degrees, etc. You can do that if you're interested. It is not the most efficient use of your time. The best way for a non-technical person who wants to get into big tech is building an authentic network of people within those companies so you can get to start to understand the culture and the opportunities there. And if you are a non-technical person, let me tell you, about 2/3 of roles at these tech companies are non-technical. So when I was at Google, it's similar breakdown with Salesforce and Facebook as well. About 1/3 of the company were SWEs, software engineers, or at Amazon calls them SDEs, software development engineers, or more in the technical track. And you have product managers, about 1/3. But Google has, I think, 160,000 employees. Salesforce has about 80,000 employees. That means at Google, there's 100,000 non-technical employees. At Salesforce, there's about 50,000 non-technical employees. What non-technical roles in big tech pay the most? Sales can pay really well if you're a good salesperson. Well, first off, I wouldn't try to optimize for the role that pays the most. I would optimize for the role that you can get the most. And the role that you can get the most is what you're doing now. So what will pay you the most is leveraging your strength as a marketer to become a marketer at Shopify. Or if you're a salesperson, to leverage your sales experience to get a job at Spotify or something like that. If you're trying to go for the highest pay, sales could be, if you're a good salesperson, but you also have to be comfortable with about half your compensation variable and half fixed. Sometimes much more can be variable. If you want to try to maximize your compensation based on the role, you can be a software engineer, but I know this question was non-technical role. But I wouldn't really think about trying to get the highest paid role. I would think about getting a role in one of the highest paying companies, which is often the tech companies.